Tyler says, I'm glad that you're going out there. How is your, quote, no? Is it stronger? You gotta have a strong no. Again, he could be piecing these text messages to emphasize what he's saying in this lawsuit, because I'm trying to see the context in the text, and I'm like, what was said before then? So Derek responds, yes, it's strong. My mom literally thinks I'm going to sell my soul to the Illuminati. She heard Kanye say that it's real. Tyler responds, well, I don't think that, but I do think that you have to be able to say no and mean it and make it clear. Again, I can take this text as Tyler just giving you advice as opposed to Hollywood versus what you're trying to say that he's talking about. Just saying. I'll only say yes if it gets me an Oscar, Derek says. Then he puts JK, 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 and then he says, I hear you. Tyler responds, well, the only one who could have gotten that for you through sex is in prison. So just stick to the no, unless you are really into him. Then he puts a sticking out the tongue emoji. Again, that text message doesn't prove to me that Tyler did anything inappropriate. If anything, it says to me Tyler is trying to guide you in this Hollywood world based off of that. But again, this is why in the lawsuit he's giving his version of the story. In response, Tyler Perry said that we went through that. Perry reveals through these text messages that the no he was referring to was Dixon's no to sex in exchange for promotion in the industry, classically known as quid pro quo sexual harassment. Perry sent this message to Dixon because that is exactly what Perry was doing. At some point, Dixon left Atlanta and moved to Santa Monica to create distance from Tyler Perry. However, even at long distances, Mr. Perry continued to sexually harass Mr. Dixon. Plaintiff Derek Dixon is an individual who resides in the state of California. Okay, this is just talking about the party, so I think we can skip through any of this. Okay, let's scroll down.
This phone is new. This one is verified refurbished by Redmark. It can do everything a brand new smartphone can. The only difference is up to 50% less than brand new. It comes with a 12-month minimum warranty and 3 30-day returns. Come right now. Redmark.
I was gonna put this guy to sleep, but then I got
I don't think any of this is necessarily important for what we're getting into. That the venue and jurisdiction, the court has a personal jurisdiction over all defendants because they have purposely availed themselves. Alright, so we're going to move past that. So they said that this action is also timely under California Sexual Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act. California Sexual Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act amended California Civil Procedure Section 340.16, extending the statute of limitations, opening up rival windows for adult survivors of sexual assault and related claims, and acknowledging that a 2-year statute of limitations simply does not provide sexual assault survivors adequate time to heal from the physical and emotional trauma of sexual assault and prepare for a civil case. We talked about this recently when Kirsten Brown, a Los Angeles attorney and prosecutor, weighed in on why we're seeing so many of these civil lawsuits coming out, because New York and California have passed this law to extend the statute of limitations. Mr. Dixon was a resident of California from January 2023 through the end of the relevant time period, and the sexual assault and harassment of Mr. Perry continued and extended into the relevant time period, but Mr. Dixon was a resident of and working from California for Mr. Perry. Mr. Perry also resided in California. Much of the harm caused by the sexual assaults occurred, according to him, in California. Alright, so that's just giving us some logistical things that we needed to know. Factual allegations. So under factual allegations, they say, in or around September of 2019, plaintiff worked for an event company called Legendary Events in Atlanta that was hired to organize defendant Perry Studios' opening party. Plaintiff was recruited by Tony Conway, the owner of Legendary Events and close friend of Tyler Perry. Mr. Conway decided to place Mr. Dixon directly in a role at the party that required frequent conversation with Tyler Perry. Defendant Perry picked plaintiff out of a crowd of employees present at the party and began asking plaintiff questions about his employment status and whether plaintiff was an actor. In or around early October and on the last day of the party, defendant Perry insisted that he and plaintiff exchanged phone numbers, and Perry subsequently texted plaintiff to introduce himself. Perry began by asking Dixon about his dreams and aspirations. Dixon told Perry that he was interested in acting and writing. Perry then told Dixon to do an audition over the phone and send it to Perry. Dixon told Perry he was at a Halloween party. Perry asked to see pictures of Dixon in the costume, and Dixon complied. When Perry saw the pictures, he texted Dixon, "I was gonna say, your cowboy needs a sugar daddy." Perry continued with, "You look great, you're just lacking costume parts." "Sorry, don't want to offend," Dixon responded. "Not at all. It's so true, half-assed costume." To which Perry replied, "What's true, cowboy needs a sugar daddy?" implying that Perry wanted to be Dixon's sugar daddy. Dixon quickly shut down those comments by reiterating what he said earlier, that the truth was that he was lacking costume parts. Shortly thereafter, Dixon's boss at Legendary Events called Dixon and told him that Tyler Perry was having another event in Los Angeles and specifically wanted Mr. Dixon to fly from Atlanta to Los Angeles to work on the event. Excited for the opportunity to fly to Los Angeles, Dixon was flattered and jumped on the opportunity to meet Tyler Perry again. Shortly after doing the event on November 3rd of 2019, defendant Perry sent plaintiff several text messages that he would love to find plaintiff a job and change plaintiff's life, insisting that they should, quote, make it happen. Perry sent Dixon what turned out to be an ominous warning: "Be careful hanging around me. I cause dreamers to dream bigger. I cause them to not only believe, but do. Then let's make it happen. You're an artist. You have to be fulfilled. Nothing else will suffice." The very next day, defendant Perry sent an email which contained an offer for plaintiffs to play the role of Dale in Perry's television series Ruthless. Perry said that it was a small role that could get a lot bigger, thereby setting up the first stage in a series of escalating quid pro quo offers. At this point, Dixon did not know that Perry was interested in men or that he was looking for a sexual relationship. And it should be noted, Tyler Perry has never come out and said that he is gay, bisexual, or other.
We love Gusto, tasty nutritious meals for the whole family to enjoy. Finally, meal planning without the faff. Discover Gusto's biggest menu ever with 500 recipes every month. The homemade push dogs and chips are a favourite in our house, made in no time at all, so I can feed the family without any fuss. Sign up now at gusto.co.uk for 50% off your first box.
Guys, the new puzzle game Royal Kingdom just launched, and I figured we're all gonna be playing it a lot, so I'm here to answer any questions. Yes, bedtime, Jimmy.
Is it a good way to relax and have fun?
Sure is. Showtime, Jimmy. Are there ads? No. Can you believe they make games with no ads? Flight, Jimmy.
Do I need Wi-Fi? Do I need Wi-Fi?
Nope. Which means you can play anywhere. Just bought a pricey latte, Jimmy?
Is it free?
Yep. Not a single dime to download. Emotional, Jimmy.
I'm just like so excited to download this game.
Same. Cowboy, Jimmy.
Giddy up, partner.
Okay, I think that covers it. So Royal Kingdom, it's relaxing. There's no ads, no Wi-Fi. It is free, and you can download it now.
Yeah! He's my emotional support cowboy. Giddy it up, cowboy.
There have been rumors for many, many years, but we've never heard that. What we have heard is Tyler Perry had a relationship with a woman and had a baby with a woman. But again, he could be bisexual. Again, he's never confirmed or denied that he is gay, straight, or whatever. So Dixon assumed that Tyler Perry was genuinely a caring person who discovered the talent that Dixon always felt he had. And honestly, for those that have actually watched Ruthless or seen Derek Dixon in The Oval, what did you guys think of his acting? I will say, the quality of Tyler Perry's writing doesn't necessarily translate through the actors unless you're like a Taraji P. Henson. Taraji is just a phenomenal actress, so she can take lackluster writing and turn it into something else. In my opinion, because I know some of you don't consider it lackluster, so calm down. Because I'm like, it's not lackluster. Calm down. For me, not everything. There are things. We're not going to get into a debate. We can do this at another time when it comes to Tyler Perry's writing style. We'll just call it that. So Dixon filmed his roles in Ruthless in mid-November and went back to his job as an event staff for legendary events. Approximately 1 month later, Perry bought and gave Dixon a new car because he hated Dixon's Jeep. And look, we have to keep in mind, we've heard of Tyler Perry being very generous. I remember, was it Tiffany Haddish that said that Tyler Perry had bought her a car too? He's very generous. So, approximately 1 month later, Perry bought and gave Dixon a new car because he hated Dixon's Jeep. Dixon was surprised and elated. Dixon had no idea that he was being set up by Perry for extreme dependence. First of all, me personally, I would have never taken the car. Me personally, because maybe because I've worked in HR, and part of me sort of like, you're an employer, possibly a future employer. I think this is, first of all, I don't mean even if you weren't an employer, I probably wouldn't take such a huge gift from someone. Even if I know you have it, I don't know if I would take it. But that's me. Some of you would take it. Me personally, I would be like, no thank you, but thank you. No thank you. Maybe eventually if we became really good friends and I got to know who you are and your character, but definitely not early on like this. Even that, I don't know if I would take it, but I'm just saying. In December of 2019, Dixon was requested to be a part of the event staff at another event at Perry's home in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. After that event, Perry started frequently sending text messages, making phone calls, and demanding that Dixon give Perry some attention. On New Year's Eve 2019, Tyler Perry texts Dixon, "I can't tell you the last time I pumped gas or went to the supermarket or fly commercial or packed a bag or had good sex." He put in bold here. "It was before I was rich." Dixon found these messages to be strange and untowardly coming from someone like Tyler Perry. But being new to the industry, Dixon played along by downplaying the sexual comments and hoping that being around Perry would allow him to showcase his talents as an actor and writer. Soon after Dixon began giving Perry more attention, Perry made his move on Dixon. In January of 2020, just a few months after his first acting gig, Perry invited Plaintiff to his home in Douglasville County, Georgia. Plaintiff showed up to the home hoping that he would be given a chance to befriend Perry and show him how talented an actor Dixon was. At Perry's home, Dixon was served many alcoholic drinks, which Perry also partook in. Dixon felt that Perry was genuinely interested in Dixon's talents as an actor and writer. Perry made no sexual advances at Dixon while they were drinking, and the conversation was friendly. At the end of the night, Perry told Dixon not to drive home. Perry said that it was dangerous and Dixon was too inebriated to drive home. Dixon agreed and was escorted to a separate guest room, not knowing that this was a ruse to allow Perry to assault Dixon. Dixon was tired and did not have pajamas, and so he got into bed only wearing underwear. Before he knew what was happening, Dixon felt someone else slip into bed behind him and start rubbing Dixon's body around his inner thigh in a highly sexual and suggestive manner. Dixon turned around and saw that Tyler Perry was in bed with.
Need more space? Use ours. Safe Store Self-Storage have over 130 stores nationwide. So whether you need personal or business storage, you're bound to find a Safe Store near you. Choose from a variety of sizes, ranging from small lockers to units the size of a garage or larger. Store for just a day or as long as you need, with access to your unit 7 days a week. Find your nearest Safe Store Self-Storage now to get a free quote with 50% off your first 8-week storage.
just want to preface this. If Tyler was already making these sexual advances towards you, even before this time had happened, first of all, why would you get so drunk that you couldn't make it home? Or not insist, no, I'm going to take an Uber or whatever and go home? Why would you then say, I'm going to stay under this man's roof? And there's more that comes out in this lawsuit that makes me go, is this just him coming for a payday? I don't know. But again, there are a lot of people in Hollywood that feel like he hasn't done anything. If I just befriend him, this could open up opportunities for me. Maybe. At this point, Dixon's stomach started to turn, and he began feeling nauseous. Instinctively, Dixon jumped out of bed and told Tyler Perry that he wasn't that sexual. Tyler Perry ignored the comments and told Dixon to turn around so Perry could see him naked in his underwear. Perry then commented on how beautiful Dixon's body was. Dixon once again told Perry that he was not into sex. Dixon kept informing Perry that he was not into sex in order to keep Perry at bay, while at the same time not insulting the person who was dangling his career in front of him. In response to Dixon's frequent assertions that Dixon was not into sex, Perry started prying further. Perry would send Dixon a text saying, I would hope that you would let someone hold you and make love to you. You are missing the best years of your life, my friend. Trust me. I hope you get past that block in your mind soon. Perry was implying that Dixon would hopefully get past the block in his mind and would let Tyler Perry make love to him. After the assault in January, Dixon felt betrayed. Perry continued to call or text Dixon every day asking to talk to him more. Dixon ignored Perry, which led Perry to text him, Derek, why don't you text me more? The more Dixon ignored Perry, the more aggressive Perry became, until finally Perry offered Dixon a part on a new show called The Oval. Dixon was intrigued and was hoping that would be the big break that he was looking for, and a chance for him to display his acting talent. On February 11th of 2020, Dixon, mind you, this is February 2020, this is February and March of 2020 is when the world shut down. Just important to note. On February 11th, happy birthday to Brandy and Kelly Rowland as well. And rest in peace to Whitney Houston. Sorry, all these things come to my mind. Perry told Dixon to quit his job at the legendary events and come work exclusively for Perry. Perry was not able to control Dixon so long as Dixon had a secondary income that was providing for his basic needs. I mean, look, that's not unnecessarily true. If you've been following our Diddy updates, we've seen similar predator behavior from Diddy. Once Dixon quit his job to his role on The Oval, Perry started getting more and more personal with Dixon, knowing that Dixon was now under his control. Perry would often say things like, I give and give and give, and no one ever does anything for me in return. No one ever gives me what I want or what I need, implying that Dixon was not giving him sex. Perry started asking Dixon about sexual preferences and what role Dixon took on when engaging in sexual acts, i.e., whether he was the top or bottom, which in sexual terms mean whether Dixon preferred to give or receive anal sex. Perry further indicated to Dixon that he had sex with men before and that he was, quote, he was a top. Perry further told Dixon that when you have a big D, and when you hit the G spot right on these bottoms, they go crazy. Perry further told plaintiff that he wanted a man who was in a relationship with another individual, but with whom he could be emotionally involved and engage in sexual acts with, like a friends with benefits relationship. Because Perry did not have the time to deal with the emotional aspect of a relationship, only the physical. But why would Tyler Perry, at his age and what he's achieved, unless he had another relationship that fulfilled that, but why at that particular point in his life would he want a partner that, again, this is based off of what Derek is saying in the lawsuit. I'm not saying this is necessarily true. But why at his particular, at this point in my life, if that was to come to me now, I would embrace that. Why at his? Like, you've achieved everything, you have everything. Why wouldn't you want a partner that wasn't just sexual? Or maybe that's just the way that he viewed a relationship with Derek Dixon.
With Back Market, I was able to choose a condition on my mobile phone and its battery. I don't need all the extra bells and whistles. I just need reliable quality tech. So I selected new battery and excellent condition. The 12-month minimum warranty is what really seals the deal for me. Back Market. Downgrade now.
Get year-round rewards when you buy car insurance. Car insurance feels better when you just use Confused.com.
And maybe he got that from somewhere else. Maybe he gets that with women. I don't know. Again, we're basing this off the assumption that any of this is true. Okay. So Perry further told plaintiff that he wanted a man who he can have a relationship with. We read that part. Despite these comments, Dixon knew that a full-throated refusal, that was an interesting term to use, would land him in the doghouse and might result in his role being cut on the Oval, fearing that his career would end before it began. Dixon put up with these comments and continued to maintain that he was not the sexual type. On or around March of 2020, Dixon received the script for the Oval. He was written in as a Caesar. It's day 27. Yes, it's officially day 27 of the Sean Diddy Combs trial, and we have to talk about the judge reprimanding both the prosecution and the defense for sealed information making it into an article. No one seems to know what article the judge is talking about, and no one wants to take the blame. We also have to unpack my recent conversation with Kirsten Brown, a Los Angeles prosecutor. If you haven't seen it, you really should go and watch it. And we have to talk about day 27. Brendan Paul, Diddy's alleged drug mule, testified. And he's saying, I am no drug mule. This is day 27 of our exclusive coverage of the Diddy trial.
Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Campfire Channel, your #1 source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So it looks as if the case is about to wrap, probably earlier than expected, because based off of what happened today, they ended early today because one of the jurors' son graduated. I don't know, from college or high school, I don't know. Congratulations regardless. As you know, this past week there have been a couple of hiccups when it comes to the jurors. They got rid of juror number 6. Juror, I don't know which particular juror is in question. We also saw over the weekend, the defense came up with a 14-page letter.
Don't skip on summer. Lock in your last-minute getaway with a TUI holiday deal. Book today. We'll see you well informed. TUI. Live happy. At all and out and protected. I'm Kevin Hart.
I'm Kevin Hart. I am Kevin Hart. I'm Kevin Hart, and I love acting. But my true calling is playing a new puzzle game, Royal Kingdom. That's why I started the Kevin Hart School.
In order to explain why they feel as if we need to keep juror number 6, the only other black male that's on this jury panel. They made a lot of valid points, and we unpacked that with Kirsten Brown as well as to what happened and what that could mean for the future. Here's the thing I want to talk about, before we get into day 27 of this trial, I want to talk about why it's important that we are mindful.
Wow. Why not? Nah, not really, are you?
I want to have pizza from Domino's.
Pizza.
Yeah, from Domino's.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
But I need to go and get coleslaw.
Then you gotta give me the couple dragons if you what.
Yeah. I need to go collect it.
Oh,
I ain't got money in my bank.
Oh. I got some air on it.
What money?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course I want it. I've still got your £10 though.
Oh, yeah.
What pizza do you want?
Same one as you. Same one as you.
I'll do half. I'm gonna have tuna. Oh.
Yeah, they're probably that too.